Welcome back to Tomorrowaday Farms, guys. Today we did something super exciting. So we created our own vegetable bouillon, but we did it the better than bouillon way. So Michael's gonna pan in here. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. We waited to start this video so you guys could see the end result. It's not as thick, but what I'm thinking is next time we do the chicken one that I want to do, and this is what it looks like in the jar. We're gonna try to can this next time as well. But that's what it looks like, guys, and it is absolutely delicious, and you don't need a whole lot of it, that is for sure. You want to guarantee your bouillon is 100% organic. This is your way. So this is just another way of getting some scraps out of your freezer, and you know, it's that time of year. Let's get those freezers empty for our gardening season. But this is absolutely fantastic, guys. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Please share it, and let's just have some fun with it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for hanging out with me, and have a great night. Alright guys, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil on here. I am going to do this on the fireplace after we get this roasting done. Now, what I have used is a bit of dehydrating, which I'm going to put on here with you guys. This is kale out of the freezer, celery out of the freezer, tomato tops out of the freezer, just some fresh onions, our garlic, and carrots. Dehydrated, I have celery, and I am going to have to like move this around a little bit, but that's okay because everything will shrink quite a bit. And this is celery and leeks, and the liquid that I used to rehydrate these I already put in my pot that I'm gonna put on my freezer, or on my freezer, listen to me, on my fireplace. Now I am going to salt it. I have some kosher salt here. And then we're going to put all these roasted vegetables into the oven at 425 for about an hour, I would think. But we'll see how long. Okay. Like I said, frozen. Using our vegetables, I love to save money. I feel like if I can figure out how to do it on my own, it's better for us. And that, better than bouillon stuff, is expensive here. Just a small, a small jar is like $7 to $10 depending on where you go. So let's do it on our own and save us a bunch of money, and we know where every vegetable came from. And what's better than creating your own food, right? Now I am not gonna put pepper on this because I'm gonna put peppercorn in the broth, and I actually might need my bigger pot. We'll see. All right, that's smooshed around enough. I'm gonna get this in the oven, guys, and I'll see you when it's all done. Alright guys, so here is the roasted vegetables. Now I do have my big stock pot over here, and I'm just going to start dropping this in. And if any of the vegetables have put some liquid off, or broth off, I am going to grab that, but I think it's pretty much... Look how beautiful roasted that is. It's going to add a real beautiful flavor to it. The house smells amazing. And then I'm going to use my fireplace simply because it's on. And why not? And I'll show you how much is in my pot, and then we'll fill it up with water. Now I am going to leave the lid off because I need this to reduce. So what we're going to try to accomplish here together is reducing this to a very thick liquid. Okay? Trying to get every little bit. I think I'm pretty close. Move this. Bring this over. So I do have, I'm going to start filling up my pitcher full of water here, guys. I have some bay leaves here. Now we are going to strain all this out, okay? So mine are pretty small. It's not going to matter this time how many. But we're going to let this cook for hours and hours and hours. Now, a roaster would be perfect, okay? But I just feel like the more I can use my fireplace at this moment, this is costing me very little, even more. And this gives you diversity in showing you. I cook on the wood stove a good portion of the winter, actually. Any soup or stew I make, all goes on there. I roast, I put ham on there, I put roast beef on there, I put chicken on there. I gotta have it going anyways. I'm gonna direct you guys a little bit better. Sorry about that. I'm just gonna keep filling this up. I am gonna add a little more salt to this. And that's the biggest thing for me is really and truly, well, two things. I'm saving money. I'm also you know, really watching how much salt, because, you know, those have, you know, a lot of salt and a lot of stuff in it I don't want. So, now, yes, I have backups for certain things, especially beef broth, because that's something I have a hard time getting the bones for sometimes. And we've struggled to get a cow this year, so. Okay, so I'm just going to add, so I added some bay leaves, some peppercorns. And I'm just going to add just a little more salt. And then we'll taste it later on. So guys, I'm going to pause you guys, and then I'm going to take you over. I'm going to carry this over to the fireplace. I'm going to get this on. And it's really simple setup, so. But I'll bring you right back. Alright guys, so there's our start of our bouillon, and I'm just gonna let this go. And there's our beautiful fireplace, keeping us nice and toasty today. At least it's not snowing, which is kind of nice. But there we go, and I'll see you guys in a few hours, and hopefully it'll be halfway reduced by then. Okay guys, it's the next day. This cooked down for most of the day on the fireplace. I got it back on the stove now. I'm going to remove the veggies, and then I'm going to continue to reduce. Now it probably will not be as thick as obviously a store brand, better than bouillon, but I'm going to see how far I can get it to go down. The vegetables have leached out all their goodness into that. And I'm just going to keep reducing it through the day while I take down Christmas stuff. And I got it on low. And then I'm just going to put this in my pig bucket, because the Piglets and Franny, or Leo, whoever gets it today, will enjoy those. So nothing here is going to waste that you're seeing. If you don't have pigs, obviously your compost will enjoy it as well. So all I'm going to do is drain these, and then I'm just going to continue to let it reduce. And I'm going to watch the time and see how long it takes to reduce. And I'll bring you guys back when it gets really thick. Alright guys, so this is what I got it reduced down to. Now I did put it through a fine mesh strainer as well. And I got as much out as I could. And I just let it sit over the pot as I cooked Michael's breakfast. Alright, so I'm just going to continue to stir this. I have this pretty low because it was like it's literally steaming up our kitchen. This is not going to turn out to be a whole lot, but it's a good way to test the theory if we can do this, right? So that's the key. Can we reduce this down to at least a consistency that we can use instead of, you know, the normal can it, and have it as like a backup to, say, maybe like going to the store to buy a bouillon, right? So I'm going to continue to reduce this, and I do over here, just going to pan you guys up, over here I have a jar in there with a seal, and I'm going to, it's not going to fill that jar, but that's okay. This is just a good way. I just want to see if it'll work, and I wanted to bring you guys along because step by step, right? Let's try to save some money. So I'm going to let this continue to reduce. I'm going to turn it back up, and then I'll bring you back at the next step. It's okay, guys. So I'm actually almost there. I'm going to let it go. It reminds me of cooking down some maple syrup. This is like critical stage right here. This is where it'll go from being, you know, that steamy consistency, thinner consistency, to, oh crap, I have maple syrup. So that's what it's really, and it's pulling. So every time I pull the spoon, I'm just looking for trace, basically. A very gentle trace. Like I said, this is not going to be as thick as you would buy in the grocery store, because honestly, we would probably have to cook down an absorbent amount of vegetables to get this. I just want to see, in conclusion, if we can do something very similar in our kitchens to put something different on our shelves. If, say, you have an abundance of vegetables left over from your garden, or, you know, you've processed a ton of chickens, and, you know, you do your normal stock, and then you have this as a backup for that quick broth if you're not feeling well, or, you know, you just want to amplify some rice, or whatever the case may be. You make some gravy and you want to put a little bit more in there. This might be an option for us. So that's all I'm testing. Like, this pot is not that big. It's only I think it's a 6-quart pot. It's not very big. So I've reduced my heat at this point, and I'm just going to kind of let it slowly come back up, because I want to be able to tell, because as you can see, there's still quite a bit of steam here. So that's telling me there's still water in that stock, but the smell is very robust, very robust. At this point, if, say, you wanted to cook it down this far, put it on, say, your dehydrator and dehydrate this. Wouldn't that be lovely as well? That might be something else we try in the future. But at this point, I just want to see if we can get it through a little bit more, which, cooking down the maple syrup, I know I keep referencing that, but that is very close to what this is doing. I'm just trying to see if we can get a little more water cooked out, but gently, so we don't burn it. Because if you've ever done the maple syrup, you would know that 1 minute it's super watery and the next minute you're scorching it, you're burning it. So I'm just gonna gently take this down a little bit more. My jar is over here, and it's ready to go at any point. And this, I'm just reusing an old jar. So, with the lid. It's an old mayonnaise jar. So, we're just going to continue to cook this down. And let's see what we get. Okay, guys, I think we're almost there. I realize my jar's a little too extreme. We're not going to end up, guys, with a ton. Okay? Because there wasn't really... We didn't start out with a whole lot. Sorry, guys. My fan is not working. So, what I have in the freezer is a little dish full. There's a very small amount of water around the edge here. And I think it's going to be in maybe another 5 minutes. Because you can see trace through it. And I'm going to taste it here with you. Put a spoon out. I want to taste it with you. Oh, wow, guys. Wow, that's like drinking some bouillon. Like, without diluting it. Oh, excuse me. Very full of flavor. Very full. That is good. So I think I'm actually gonna stop it now. Because I'm watching the bubbles. And there's very few bubbles. Compared to what it did look like. So, I'm going to pull this. I got out a different jar, and I have it in here. And I'm going to check the one in the freezer with you here in a second. I'm just going to move you. I'm going to shut this down now. Guys, that is so good. Like, I am so impressed. And I'm just going to leave it here on the stove. With being an electric, it'll hold the heat for a little bit. And then I'm going to get you set up, and then we're going to get this in a jar. And we'll see what happens when it all cools down. Alright, guys, so this is what I got it down to. Okay. Now I'm just going to move this over. I'm going to grab our jar. And then I'll look at the one in the fridge, or in the freezer. And I will see if it's ready. Forgot a lid. There's two there. Alright. Ooh, this is going to be hard to do. There's not a whole lot in there. Which is fine. Like I said, it's all about testing, right? Seeing what we can do. Let's just dump that in. Now, I do have a little bit more in here. But I just want to show you how robust that looks. I'm just going to put that lid on. In a ring. And I'm going to let it cool. And then I'm going to bring you guys back. Look, oops, sorry guys. Hopefully that shadow's okay. And then I'm going to put the rest of this in another little jar like this. And then I'll bring you guys back when it all cools.